she won't be available either.
Yeah, I know, she told me she'll be, just a little late.
She was back till Thursday night, and then Mike's picking her up at the airport, and we're going to the Unison.
Oh, yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah,
Wow,
he better come tonight, 'cause he's supposed to take her clothes.
okay.
Otherwise, she's gonna wear the same thing until Sunday.
Oh,
It's cold up there.
that's no good.
She'll be pretty red,
It'll be cold up
even
there.
if it's cold.
Must be pretty rough. That's funny. Well, I know Steve's coming, so we could just wait a second. So I gave you guys an extra week to do your assignments.
Thank you.
And I know.
All we did was sit there waiting for the next one.
Yeah, we, you know,
It was never ready.
Oh, it was done already?
I
Good
mean,
for
it was
you.
done last week, so.
Yeah, good for you, Nancy. That's good. It's a standard to live up to, right?
Oh, sure.
Everybody?
mine was done,
Yeah.
Okay, nice,
so was
good.
Christmas.
She's got more notes than I
We
do.
didn't read
Yeah.
the email,
I
so,
was fairly finished.
What?
we didn't read the email, so we were here.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Okay, two of the four measures. All right.
Yeah, it's only 4 bars.
So
I
you
got the
guys-
text just in time.
Just, I know, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I had
So I could stay
a
home.
Do 2 repeats.
rough week.
Ooh.
Put some repeats in there.
I got 2 measures, 2 repeats, so.
That works. Did you just finish it?
No, I didn't finish it, no.
Okay,
I need my instrument, I need to hear
Yeah.
the notes.
definitely.
Yeah, I just,
Roxana was working with the piano
yeah.
today on this. Hey, Steve.
That's
How are you?
cool.
Hey, come on in.
Thanks.
That's about half an hour ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the school.
Got it.
I started and then something came up and finally I said,
So I'm hearing from some people that this last assignment was a little more challenging maybe than previous ones. So
for me it was.
yeah, there's a reason for that. Writing a tune is really hard. It's really hard to write something that you like and that's tuneful, you know, like an earworm, something you can sing and enjoy. Maybe it comes naturally to you, in which case there is a field for you. It's called film scoring. And you can make a lot of money.
Or jingle.
Right,
Jingle
right,
writing.
jingles. Tons of money. Just think of, NBC, 3 notes,
Right.
easy. And that person paid a royalty every single time. Every single time. Hopefully if they made a good deal, you know, you gotta have a good agent.
Tell them to get on it, right?
What?
Okay, tell them to get on it, right?
Yeah.
Jingles are hard. Jingles are hard. Okay, I'll get to your assignments from last week at the end today. I'm gonna start by showing you your cultural exploration activity first. So something we started doing in confirmation with the kids is teaching them how to play sabar drums, which is a drum like this. The sabar drums come in a choir of 5 drums. 2 of them have closed bottoms and then 3 have open bottoms like this. Okay, so the other cool thing is, like in a choir, they sing different or play different rhythms or melodies. So we learned about all the different letters in the Sabar alphabet. Ra, te, ta, bi, pa, and che. And so there's actually a little groove you play. So that's why there's 2 B's and 2 pops. And that's how these are the Sabar drum languages. So I wanted to show you because in traditional music theory, they usually gloss over orchestration and rhythm. Rhythm because they can't see how it connects to a piece's harmonic language, which is the primary focus of Western music theory. It's all about harmony. Almost exclusively about harmony. Melody is second to that, and then rhythm never comes out. Who cares what the rhythm is? I want to know what the harmony is.
That's why they put the drums in the back.
Yeah, that's why they put the drums in the back. It's sad, but it's true. So I just wanted to expose you to this for a second, so you can say it with me, ta-ta-pa,
Ta-ta-pa.
ta-ta-pa, beep beep.
Beep.
Yep, and that's it. So that's the groove, and then it repeats here. So I'll show you what that sounds like. I am not an expert, but I can play this much. And this is a dance rhythm. So you usually play it like really fast. If you hear that click, that's my ring. They don't usually play with rings. And then, so this was what the open bottom drum played, and then the closed bottom drum played a different tune because they don't have the same access to different tones. Because with the closed bottom, there's no bass tone. It all sounds like this. It all sounds thin like that because there's nothing to resonate. Okay, so that's the Sabar drum. There's your cultural thing for the year. The more I learn these drums from our friend Sonia, Dr. Sonia Branch, who's an expert percussionist, the more I learn about them, the more I think we should have like an adult drum circle. You know? Or like, well, I mean, a drum circle for anybody, but eventually it would be cool to get like really, really into it.
We'd have to have more drums than we have, I don't.
Yeah, we only have 8. They're all handmade, and they only come from Senegal. So you can imagine they are expensive. Yes.
I would imagine it would be very rewarding, but it'd be challenging.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's rewarding and
I'd
challenging.
like to learn how to make one.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, you gotta get the very particular wood they use.
I have to go to Senegal, and that's not gonna happen.
That's right. It's getting nicer and nicer there, though. They just rebuilt their airport in their capital city. And the capital of Senegal is actually the closest point to the United States in Africa. It's the farthest west.
Oh,
Dakar is what it's called. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna work on week 5, and I'm very excited because we're learning about the Triad. The Triad, of course, is a gang syndicate in China. Now, the Triad, you all, as you all know, yes. The musical Triad is, of course, not that. So we're gonna go over some interval practice real quick, kind of refresh, and then we're gonna stack things like Legos. We're gonna have a score study of some Debussy in our composition activity. First thing is we're gonna make our own little DIY interval cheat sheet. So I've already, let me pull this up here. I've already given you some information. To make sure you're off on the right track, I want to make sure that everybody knows this first one is 0. Correct?
Sure.
This is a
12.
perfect unison. It's 2 people singing the same
Okay.
note. That's what a unison is. In music, you might see it notated with 2 stems, one going up and one going down. It looks kind of silly, but that is a perfect unison. It matters. We need to know what that is.
So that isn't your B sharp C, C flat?
No, those are called enharmonic.
Yeah,
So that's just like ways of spelling it. Yeah, for certain contexts. So try to fill this out right now. How's it going? Done already? No? Have you started? Done? What's wrong?
I don't know what,
You,
I do not know what a minor second is.
oh, minor second?
Or a major second.
Well, I'll give you a hint. We started 0 and we ended 12.
Keep going up.
Thanks.
And you will
I
find.
can count 12.
No, I know, I got it. Got it. Perfect. Unison, minor second, major second, minor third, major third, perfect something. Use your deductive reasoning. Tritone, also called diminished fifth or augmented fourth. It's the halfway point. This thing, and then the octave. your questions along the way. Minor second,
1/2 step.
it's 1/2 step. This should say just step. Major second,
2,
2.5 steps,
3,
3, 4.
4.
Now, what is this thing called?
Perfect fit,
Is it?
No,
No?
you
Perfect
skipped
Perfect
third.
third.
Huh?
Oh,
Perfect third.
Perfect fourth.
For 4.
No, I'm saying you skipped, you went from, did I spell fourth like a British person? Come on, Charles. Is the eraser yet? Oh my gosh. Is it this thing? It's a perfect fourth, ladies and gentlemen.
oh, yes, it is.
Okay, and it's how many half steps?
must be 5.
It's 5 half steps, that's right. Okay, do we have a major fourth, minor fourth? The answer is no. It's perfect. Okay, now our tritone. Remember I said it's the halfway point, so what's halfway between 0 and 12?
6.
It's 6. Okay, now we got these. Okay, so we've gotta get to, what's an octave? It's 8, right? So we've gotta get from a fifth to an eighth. So we've gotta have a sixth and a seventh along the way, right? We have, and a fifth, sorry, and a fifth. A fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. We have these 5 spots here. You know the next thing is a perfect fifth, right? Because you know it's how many half steps?
7.
7, lucky number 7. Perfect fifth. Remember? I'm just gonna put P5. Okay. Perfect fifth. Now the next thing you're gonna have is what interval? Another fifth?
A 6.
A sixth.
Minor 6?
Exactly. Why? We always start with the smaller first. Minor means small. So this is a little m, or if you want to write it all the way out, sixth is 8 half steps. Next one,
Major?
Major.
major sixth. 9 half steps. Next one is a seventh,
Seventh.
right? Minor is 10, and then a major seventh is 11. Then we get up to 12 for perfect octave. And is this like totally way too fast? Take your card out if you want. Are we good? Is it fine? Yeah, I got the green.
Good for him.
I've never played soccer. Is green good? Do they have a green card?
I gotta digest it, but I think.
You gotta digest it. Okay, yeah, it's a lot. But once you, hopefully you fill this in, and now you have it as a cheat sheet, okay? You got all your intervals there. So what's special about this is we've got a bunch of, I remember how to do this? Oh, is it up here? Yeah, it's this thing. There we go. Okay, what's special about this is we have some perfect intervals, some minor, some major. Don't worry about the tritone right now, because that's the augmented diminished. Don't worry about that yet. But we've got perfect, major, and minor, which should be kind of reviewed. So now, what are our perfect intervals? Let's just write them all out. Perfect,
4th,
4,
which is 4.
Fourth and
0.
3,
It's the first one.
thank you, 0. Perfect unison, and then an octave. Whoops, I wrote 5, sorry.
Should be 7, right?
What did I say? Yes.
7.
We want the distances.
Oh.
We want the distances. Because there's a fun little thing that happens.
Oh, the distances between each of them?
Yes, the distances to make a perfect fourth is how many half steps?
5.
5,
Thank you. And a perfect fifth.
7. 2 more. 7.
And then an octave.
12.
8, and 12.
12. 12 half steps. So what's the connection you can draw between this? Think about it. You've got these 4 perfect intervals. How can you make sense of these? They're not just random numbers, they're connected. Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense? So does that mean that if I go up a perfect fourth, say from C, what's the fourth above C? think of the fourth note in the C scale. Just think of your alphabet. What's the fourth up, perfect fourth up from C? Shout it out.
F.
Thank you. F. C, D, E, F. C, D, E, F, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to think about half steps when it comes to C major so much. Okay, if I go up a perfect fourth, and then I go up a perfect fifth, what note do I end on? C. So it's made up of a perfect fourth here, and a perfect fifth up here. And that makes our octave. That's the kind of beauty of the perfect intervals, and why they're called perfect, is because they make that foundation. I can go the other direction too. I can go C, and then a perfect fifth up, which is G, and then G to C. G, A, B, C is a fourth. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of? It's kind of cool, right? I don't know, don't think about it too hard. Okay. Okay.
I think the Greeks,
keep going.
Greeks thought about it too hard.
What?
I think the Greeks thought about it too hard,
The
right?
Greeks, yeah. Greeks got a lot wrong.
Yeah.
We know the sound of the spheres, music of the spheres. Okay, step 2, name the intervals highlighted in these 4 melodies. Can you name the famous pieces without hearing them? I've listed them here. Hopefully you like some of these tunes, but they're not in order, so you'll have to kind of connect the dots. This is kind of an involved exercise. So let's see if we can just get the first couple of
This would be one.
intervals.
First one and minor second.
I know what the first one is.
By the end of the lesson today, you want to strangle me. I understand.
I said, why did we ever take this?
No, don't say that. Violence is okay, but don't question why you took it. Excellent. I see Donna taking out the keyboard diagram. Excellent idea.
Okay. I can do this in my head.
Totally fair. I'll give you another 60 seconds or so to work on it a little bit on your own, and then we'll go through it a little together. Okay, let's look at just the first couple intervals of each piece together and see if, make sure I'm not like, one way too fast. So, first note in this first example is what?
D.
D, great. Next note,
G sharp.
and then the note after.
E.
E.
Great. So these are both what interval?
Minor second.
That's right. Did you get that, Emil? It's a little bit.
But I have, I didn't do the second one as a minor second, cause I thought that would be, maybe I was wrong, I put a P1.
So, okay, so, I think you're thinking about the enharmonic thing, C flat and D, too much.
Okay,
That doesn't come up nearly as often as
okay,
it.
but I did get the first, the minor second.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that enharmonic thing really happens when we get to like really
Okay.
advanced stuff.
Got
And
it.
but actually it does come up today in Debbie's music. Okay, so we got minor seconds. Now this big interval, you have it 3 times. So I'm gonna do it with you. We're gonna go half step up from E. E, half step up, what?
F.
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 Now half step up.
F sharp.
Okay, good. Are we counting? We got 2. Okay, next half step.
G,
Good, next half step.
G sharp,
Good, next half step.
A,
Next half step.
A sharp,
Good. Next half step.
B,
Yep. And then last one.
C.
What do I got? I have 8. 8 half steps is what?
Major 6, minor 6.
It's a minor 6. Excellent. 3 minor intervals in a row make a very happy sounding song. Can you guess which one it is?
The entertainer.
It's the entertainer, that's right. Isn't that interesting? 3 minor intervals and it makes a happy song. Okay, that's the entertainer. By our voice Cap Joplin. Okay, here we go. Bass clef, watch out. Bass clef. You will be entertained. I lost the opportunity to use that pun. You'll be entertained by this one. Okay, so we've got. You really want to do it all counting graphs. What's the first note?
A.
Great, A. Okay, we got A, and then we got what?
G,
Nope. Skip. It's a skip
F.
below A.
F, F,
F.
A flat.
What? What?
You're going down. You're going up.
Huh?
it's bass clef.
A. What that?
Okay.
What did you say?
A flat.
A flat. Huh?
F,
What are you looking at?
You're going down.
Yeah, but there's no flat.
F.
What do you mean there's no flat?
There's no flat here. Did I put?
She's counting the steps.
I thought you were counting the steps. Did I miss something?
That's you're trying to help her out with the steps, Charles.
She was just asking what note it was.
Oh, you.
Oh, you're going
step
half steps down. Sorry, thank you. Okay, yes. Okay, we got A here, we got F here. Let's do it. Okay, A 0. Now A flat 1. Next
G.
G,
2. Next
G flat,
great.
then F,
F.
It's 4.
4.
So what?
E.
Huh? No, that's over here. Don't keep. It's 4 half steps. What is it? A to F. F to A.
Major 3rd.
Thank you. Okay, now, Emil, I want you to do this one for me. First note is a G here. Okay, Emil, G.
Okay,
So that's 0. What's a half step below G?
so that would be F.
Nope,
F
that's a
sharp.
whole, what?
F sharp,
F sharp, great. That's 1. Now a half step below F sharp.
F,
Yep, that's 2.
and then E sharp.
Nope,
No, E,
E, thank you. E, great. So that's how many?
right,
3. So it's a, what interval?
minor,
Yes,
minor 3.
yes. Great. Okay, anyone know what this is?
It's Beethoven.
Beethoven's
It's Beethoven's 5th, that's right. Yes. A very angry sounding piece that contains a major 3rd. And actually, we didn't do this one. F to G is a major 2nd. Interesting. All of your conceptions about major and minor are being destroyed. I'm sorry to be that person. This one's a little easier. It's rhythmically complex, but the intervals are very simple.
In treble clef too.
It's also in the treble clef, yeah. G to F. We just did it actually. F to G, G to F, it's the same thing.
Major second.
Major second. Okay, another G to F.
Mm-hmm.
F to D. F. E. Sorry, F. E. E flat. D. It's 3. It's a
Minor third.
minor third. And then D to C. Emil, what is it? What is D to C?
You said D to C?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get D,
Mm-hmm.
C sharp,
Yep.
C,
Yep.
Tritones.
It's what?
It's a minor third.
Nope. Don't count the first one because you haven't left.
So there's 2, so that would be major second.
That's right. All right. So you probably deducted or deduced what this is, but do you know what it is?
Probably learned
Mambo! It's Mambo from West Side Story. You're lucky I didn't give you Maria, because the first interval in there is the one I haven't explained yet. The tritone. Also, it's The Simpsons. Okay, down here. Steve, I did this for you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and any other fans of the show? This is the OG melody from 1960 something, 67. Is that it? I was learning about it because I didn't know who the composer was.
I didn't realize it was Alexander Courage.
What?
I didn't realize it was Alexander Courage that did this.
Yeah. It's a very courageous melody comprised of what intervals in the beginning?
First one's a perfect fourth.
They are perfect fourths, yes. E fourth. E fourth. Bum, bum, bum. Really popular interval in the 70s. A lot of classical music did a lot of stuff with perfect fourths. This is a really hard one. It has almost every interval in it. It's got a lot of them. Got a lot of them, so I'll let you chew on that at home. So that we can move on. Okay, was this pretty hard,
No,
this exercise?
just
Medium?
just referring back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. You're getting it, that's good overall. It's tough stuff, especially when you start adding accidentals, which we're gonna do more of. Okay, these chords, we're moving on, next page. These chords are called triads. They are stacked somethings. What are the 2 things that make them called triads? Think about it. This is like a little word puzzle.
3 notes.
3 notes.
3 notes,
3 notes.
and they are
one under
thirds.
the other.
That's right. There's 3 notes, and they're all thirds. The triad. 3 notes, each one is a third. Okay, it's the basis of all Western harmony, is the triad. Very important, very fundamental, also very boring. So I gave you a really interesting use of the triad in our score analysis. Yeah?
This is not the same as a tritone?
Correct.
Okay.
The tritone is called that because in the European nomenclature, they don't call them steps, they call them tones. And they don't call them half steps, they call them semitones. I went over this probably. So a tritone is 3 whole steps, which sounds like this. So then you take away those other 2, and you have the tritone. Kind of cool, right? In America, we call it the tri-whole step. Not as catchy. Okay. That's tritone. Okay, so So we got that triad, boom. Here's Bach. There are 4 types of triads. A major one where the interval between the lowest and middle note is a major third. Let's just do that real quick. So do it with me on your keyboard. I'm playing C, E, and G.
C, E, and D?
G.
G.
All on top of each other. C, E, G. So the first 2, the lowest 2, most to the left, C and E, makes a major third. So it's called a major triad. Okay, now I'm going to play a minor triad. Move your hand down to A. I'm going to play A, C, and E. The lowest third, A and C, is a minor third. It's a minor triad. Remember, every major triad has both a major and minor third. Every minor triad has both a major and minor third. It's the orientation, whichever one is lowest, that we perceive as major versus minor. Because we're always adding up to 7, perfect fifth of 7. So we're just cutting it in half in 2 different ways. 3 on the bottom, 4 on top, or 4 on the bottom, 3 on top. Talking about half steps. Augmented is the interval between the lowest and highest notes. So basically we're taking our 3 notes, our triad, and we're permuting it as many times as we can. We can't change the third anymore. If we make a major third go higher, it's now a perfect fourth from the bass. So it's no longer a triad. It's called something else. In Emil's language, in my language, it's called a sus chord. That's a sus chord. But it's not a triad, not yet, until it goes. That's the resolution there. Okay, if we move the third any farther down, we get a different sus chord, which is a sus2. Okay, now we can't do that. We're not going to move the root, because that would be too dang confusing. C major, C minor, and then we have C flat something. No, it's always going to be C as the root. So now we've changed the third as much as we can, so now the only option we have is to change the fifth. So instead of a fifth, that's G, C, E, G. Try this on your keyboard, C, E, G. We're going to go up. Instead of G, it's now G sharp. This is called augmented. Say it, augmented.
Augmented.
It's bigger. Okay, now if I take this, now I've got to have a minor third, so I'm going to go to C minor, so C, E flat, G. Now I'm going to go down a half step from G, make it a shorter fifth. It's going to be diminished. Say diminished. So diminished is based on the minor triad. Augmented is based on the major. We'll hopefully come back to this. But we're just trying to take everything we can do with just these 3 notes and do everything we can with it, basically. Debussy telling a bad joke. Right here.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just asking if there's a meta here. I mean, this is like nomenclature, but is there some deeper music theory thing going on here as well as with these notes that you try to do musically?
What do you mean?
Well, like you're going to show Debussy, who's
Yeah.
going to do triads, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's going to do augmented and diminished triads, right?
Yeah.
So there's a deeper thing there, right?
Like how they're used?
Yes.
Yeah. A real easy way to use the augmented triad is in a passing motion. So going up like that. I'm just going G, G sharp, A.
Okay.
That's an easy way to do it. Diminished is great because you can go from diminished to virtually every harmony you want. Or I could go, and this is the same diminished. Sorry, where am I going? So diminished is like a really useful chord that can take you different places. Augmented is almost a stagnant chord. It doesn't really lead anywhere necessarily. It could if you want to write some music from like the 40s. Okay, I don't know if that answers your question.
It did answer my question, actually.
It did? Oh, cool. Okay.
Not that I got any smarter by it, but it did answer
Yeah.
my question.
Okay, cool, moving on. So we're gonna fill in fifths, we're gonna make some major, triads together. So we're gonna, this, if you remember, this is actually the same exercise from last week. I moved the notes around, the smiley faces around a little bit on the next page, I think, maybe on this page too. But it's the same exercise, you're gonna make a perfect fifth higher. How many half steps is a perfect fifth?
7.
7 half steps. Lucky number 7. Perfect fifth is also the basis of Western music. So really just memorize that as fast as you can because it's going to be real useful. So you're going to circle the, or make a smiley face, whatever you want to do, on the fifth above. So let's start with C. What's a fifth above C? Perfect fifth?
G.
That's right. Not complicated. C, D, E, F, G, 5. If you really want to go through the steps, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to put a major third between the lowest smiley face and wherever it's supposed to go. So we've got to make a major third. How many half steps?
4.
4 half steps. Let's do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes right here. That's the creepiest smiley face I think I've ever done. So there's our little C major triad. You can see the notes here, C, E, and G. This is also a nice thing to keep later if you fill it out correctly because it is a reference for the major triads in, I don't know, how many are there? 7, 8? 8 of the 12 possible keys. These are some of the most common. So hopefully you can get them going on your own. A couple black key ones together. I want to make sure I get to the end here. So let's do this black key one together. Let's start here. So what's the note?
It's B flat.
B flat, not A sharp. You don't know why yet, but just write it in as a B flat, or I haven't explained why, maybe you do know why. Okay, we gotta go a perfect fifth up. Let's all do it together. B flat is 0, B is
1,
C is
2, 3,
C sharp,
4,
D,
5,
D sharp, E.
6, 7.
Do we stop? Yes.
Yes.
So F is our perfect fifth. And now we're going to go back to B flat. We're going to go up how many half steps?
4.
4. Ready? 0. B is 1. C is, C sharp is, and D is
4.
So that's our third. That's our major third. So we got C, D flat, D, and F. If you have a keyboard instrument at home, and you know this is why we do music theory on the piano because it's so visually helpful. You could play this to double check. If it sounds like this, you mess up, right? The nice thing about the well-tempered clavier, as Bach called it, is that all major triads sound exactly in tune, more or less. Okay? So you'll be able to find it just by ear. You don't have to have an advanced degree in music to hear a major triad once you get accustomed to it. Okay, let's move on. Now we're doing minor. So now instead of 4 half steps, it's 3 half steps. And now it's still perfect fifth, so it's still 7 half steps up here. You're going to do the same thing. You start with your smiley face, you make a fifth, and then you go back to your smiley face and you make a minor third. 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's E flat, right here. C, E flat, and G. Makes a minor triad. Okay, I think there's one on here that is real tricky, so let's see if we can do it together. This one. You need to have the right starting note. Well, maybe this one too, but I think we just covered it. It's B flat. Just don't call it A sharp. You'll have problems. Over here, this note right here, middle of the 3 black keys. What do you think we're going to call it?
A flat.
No, sorry.
G sharp?
That's right, G sharp.
Oh, wow. Mind blown.
We could try to make it A flat, Debussy could do it, A flat minor, you might try it out. A flat minor is a very complicated key, so let's just stick with G sharp. Hopefully you've gathered that we're always skipping in letter. We're never gonna say G-A-E, or whatever, G-A-D. They're never gonna be adjacent, they're always gonna skip, G-B-D. So we always start G-B-D, and then we just have to figure out which one gets the accidental, if it gets one. Okay, because we're always making a stack, nice little stack of pancakes. They're always gonna look like this, or they're gonna look like this. Okay, as soon as it goes like this, you're not making a triad anymore. So that you're always looking for this right here. And you always start with just your bare bones letters, just like making any scale. You start with A through G, or whatever starting note you have. You always start with all the letters laid out, and then you just kind of slide them up or slide them down, sharp or flat, depending on what you need for half steps and whole steps. Here, the same principle. We need to start with the right letters. Now, let's say we wanted to make, I'll just spoil it right now, E sharp, and be natural. Let's say we wanted to make A flat minor. We need to start with our three letters, right? A,
Right.
next, not B, because that's adjacent, so skip.
C.
C,
But C flat.
E,
it would be C flat, and then what?
E,
E, that's correct. Okay, so now we have to make this anharmonic. Emil, you're really good at this now. G sharp, same as
B, A flat,
A flat. D, I'm sorry, B, same as,
C flat,
that's it. E, same as,
D sharp.
D sharp, same as
D,
E flat.
E flat.